Alrighty, it's been a while since I made one of these. So a few weeks ago, I went to the Dimension Force premiere downtown and came tied for fifth place. I went 4-2 with an updated version of Dragon Link. I love this deck to bits. It did get a bit pricey with certain cards, but it's a very fun deck. Borland is quite frankly my favorite card in the game. And this was a pretty good matchup. Mind you, my card choices are also a bit weird just because I don't have access to certain cards, or I didn't get cards in time that I had ordered, so we're kind of playing with what we have right now. The only thing that really changes like certain hand traps and like extra copies of cards I had replaced with 3 copies of Artifact Lancea. That's really the only difference that you're seeing with the list right now. So there will be cards towards the end of the main that you'll see are replaced with Lancea, so that's really it. But yeah, so to begin with, we'll deal with the main deck first. So we always start with triple Tracer, that's kind of the standard, and then 2 Rockets, 2 Synchrons and 1 Recharger, again pretty standard stuff. I liked to play a little bit more spice, so I added a Rocket Caliber. He came up more often than you expected because there was often times where I could overextend and I'd have way too many monsters on board, so I'd be able to make an extra synchro or I'd just link it off. So it was always pretty good, especially because it can special summon itself. Then more standard stuff, 3 Seyferts, 1 Levy along with 1 black and 1 white. That's pretty much it. Seyfert's still the best normal summon in the deck. Black and white plus Chaos Space is pretty much the best thing you could possibly ask for. We've got 2 Noctos and 2 Absols. I thought about playing 3 of each, and at one point I had to side with 3 of each. They came up pretty frequently. It was pretty good to see that they came up, but it was also very difficult to gauge whether or not it was smart. So 2 is probably fine. And then we've got some one-ofs for the deck. So 1 Destrudo, now that we have him back, and then Galactic Spiral. Galactic Spiral is another great free special. These are the free special summons, basically. Galactic Spiral is fantastic. One of my favorite things to pitch if you already had Absarada Engrave. So always a good thing to have. We'll move on to our spells. 3 Quick Launch, like always. 3 Chaos Space, like always. A Dragon Ravine, and Boot Sector. Same as usual, Boot Sector, fantastic. Quick Launch was amazing. Chaos Space alone revived a completely dead hand, so I gotta argue that was pretty damn good of it. So now hand traps, and it's a bit weird. So we're playing Gamma. Gamma was fantastic for me. I think Gamma along with Chaos Space was pretty influential. Like that was one of the bigger heavy hits. And then for the other ones that I have right now, I only have 1 Ash, so I played the 1 Ash. I only have 1 Ghost Ogre, so I played the 1. Ghost Ogre did help me quite a bit. It came up especially during the branded matchups. Oh, sorry, not Ghost Ogre, Ash. Obviously, it came up during the branded matches. And yeah, 2 Veilers. Again, if I had the 3rd, I would have played it. That's why I was kind of waiting. And then what was 3 Lanceas. That's what I would have been placing here. But instead, what I had is a 3rd Absarada, a Silver Rocket, and a Magna Rocket. The reason I played more Rockets this time around, or that I would then compared to usual, is because you need it for Borderland because of its negate effect. Because I had like 2 games that were surprisingly grindy, just like we couldn't out each other's things, we couldn't attack over, we couldn't do this, that. So having the negates with the Rockets engraved and then overextending really did help, which left 2 extra slots, which would have gone to other hand traps, but Monster Reborn because I could, and Raigeki because I could. And Raigeki, especially against Branded and Virtual World, was pretty nice. I liked those a lot. My side deck was basically 3 Imperm, Chamber and Tidying, Red Reboot for the Tidyings, and then like 1 or 2 other like small stuff. Like I think Imperm was also in there. But now we'll go into our extra deck. 15 cards. I'll go over the stuff that isn't links. So Zombie Vampire because against Sky Strikers, Sky Striker Brave DPE. That's pretty much what I was playing against. That was unreal. That milled the cards absolutely crucial to them and basically won me the game. Like, won me game 1, which got him pretty nervous, and then game 2 was a complete sweep. And then we've got Warlord Savage, like always, Hot Red, like always, and then Chaos Ruler, like always. These 4 pretty much never change. It's like the only things you play outside. Technically, you can swap out Hot Red. There were times where I was able to get Hot Red, Savage, and Borland on the field, so 3 negates, which was pretty good. It would have been nice to play another level 8 would have been nice, but honestly, it's not really needed. The only other card that I considered was Cyber's Quantum Dragon, the level 7 that you can make pretty easily or frequently with Destrudo, but again, wasn't really necessary. Link ones, we've got Striker Dragon, shame that it's still at 1, and then we go at Pisty, because LP is nowhere to be seen. Pisty didn't come up at all, quite frankly, but it was nice to have to extend and such. Like, I think I summoned it specifically to go for the OTK after the fact, but yep, pretty good. Getting this ashed hurts, but I mean, at the same time, it is what it is. We've got a lot of Link 2s, like way more than I remembered. Romulus, pretty essential. Dark, stealing DPE, stealing Albaz, like, these were really good. Like, that was essential for combos. So I loved playing Dark. I think it's a fantastic card in the deck. IP, again, you kind of make it so that your Link monsters don't get destroyed by battle. Or was it card effects? Sorry, yeah, I meant card effects. Again, pretty good. And Quad Whirl, kind of the same thing. You do it for the combo and the overextension. You played Delingerous. I decided Delingerous to swap out for IP if I needed to, just because Quad Whirl, discard, pop Delingerous after it's been made, summon 2 rockets, Delingerous summons itself back, overextend, etc, etc, etc. That did come up. Pretty damn useful, because it made a Borland when no one was expecting me to have the card. And last, Link 2, Seals. You can totally play 2. I don't think it's necessary. I was Nibiru'd multiple times. Thank God I had this on board, because it pretty much let me play the game afterwards. Like, I didn't have to worry about, oh crap, I just lost my entire board. So that was very nice to have. Especially that free bounce, because that pretty much ended their turn. Triple Burst and Unicorn as our Link 3s, because yeah, pretty much. Unicorn was sided in as well. In exchange for Unicorn, you would play another Link 4. Like, I sided Boral Sword. Not really necessary. I didn't think Boral Sword would have come up more often than the other options, but it was nice to just Unicorn spin was pretty useful for me, so I liked it. And the main reason you play those is because of this guy. Again, access code pretty much saved late game, especially when I summoned it with Borland. Borland alone was pretty much like the game ender in a lot of cases. 3,500 attack, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Neither player can target with monster effects. Once per turn, unrespondable negate. But then you play which is part of the reason that you played the extra rockets like Magna Rocket or Silver Rocket, because of the effects that they have when they're targeted by a Link monster. So that was pretty good. I greatly appreciated the synergy that it had there. Usually you would make Borland, negate something, and then make Savage Dragon like right after the fact. In one case where I didn't have much leeway, I was able to link this off and Pisty not Pisty, sorry. I was able to link this off and like just some random thing that I summoned from the grave. It was probably Tracer, and then linked off for access code. Access code target Borland, gain 5,000, so you're at 7,300, and then banish 1 light, 1 dark, and 1 wind, 3 easy pops, and go for game. So yeah, this deck is very versatile. You can play around a lot of different hand traps given the right setup. I think the only real choke point is the fact that the deck still kind of relies on a normal summon. There's no inherent special summoning outside of Chaos Space and the Chaos Dragons. Which means if you brick, which I bricked against Flunder very hard, you're kind of screwed. That was a very rough game. Against Virtual World, same thing happens. If you clog your hand with like Absurrouter, Galactic, Nocto, and no real way to extend, you're kind of screwed. But that's the deck. This was top 8. I did get prizing for top 8. It was very good. I was tied with 3 other players for 5th because we all had the same amount of points there, and 1 to 4 was already taken. But yeah, that'll be it. Leave any suggestions and stuff in the comments, and then I'll probably make an update video with an updated list once the actual support that I want comes in. But thanks.